also we know that he persecuted Christians. Now, of course, he could not have been the inventor of Christianity if he was persecuting Christians who were around before him, right? So now Paul is his Greek name. Now, of course, Saul was his Jewish name, right? And this is a little bit of sarcasm here because nobody in the Holy Land or Roman Empire spoke Greek. Nobody. Ask any Muslim. Uh, yeah, now why would he have a Greek name if nobody in the Holy Land spoke Greek? Why would the cross have Greek written on it if nobody spoke Greek? You know, these are one of life's little mysteries, right? I mean, for instance, I live in Poland, and of course we have things written in Swahili all over the place because, yeah, whatever. Anyway, now he was ultimately more of an apostle to the Gentile than to the Jew. As we know, originally he wanted to preach to the Jews. His message did not resonate as well as he wanted to, but ultimately the decision was made that they would start to preach to the Jews, the pagan, well, to the non-Jews, the pagans. And they started to find great success converting those pagans to Christian beliefs, right? Now, he was born around 5 or 6 AD in Tarsus, Turkey, and he died somewhere between 64 and 67 AD in Rome. We don't have exact dates. You can consult different sources. You will find slightly different dates. Now, one of the reason I have this highlighted here is that people will often say that there's a debate around his name, right? That, you know, for some reason, Muslims will try to twist this into a thing, and it's not a thing because now Saul continues to be called Saul long after his conversion. You can have a look at Acts 9, verse 17, 11, 25, 11, 30, 12, 25, 13, 2, and 13, 7. I'm reading out some of these in case someone is listening just to the audio and not actually watching, so that they can hear some of these. But if you look through these verses in Acts, you'll find that he is actually called Saul and Paul, right? So his name, he still continues to be called Saul. It's only a few years later that the name Paul becomes the one name that he's known as. Now in Acts 13:9, as he's getting ready to launch his ministry to Greek-speaking Gentiles in Cyprus, we read, "Then Saul, who was also called Paul." That's where we get this first reference. So he obviously was called Saul, and who was also called Paul because Paul is his Greek name, because Greek was the lingua franca of the day, right? It was the common language of the day. So of course, he had a name, just like Chinese people. If you meet Chinese people, they have names like Sally, John, because they have Western names as well. Yeah, so Luke, if you have a look, Luke, the author of Acts, then continues to call him Paul after that, right? So in 13:9, this reference happens, and then after that, Luke continues to call him Paul. So Saul is his Hebrew name. Roman citizens, as a Roman citizen, he also had the biblical Greek name of Paul. So the theory is that Luke began calling his fellow missionary Paul because that would be a more familiar name to the Gentiles to whom they were ministering.